I've got the top hats now, but unfortunately these big ones are too long. So if I put them in here, they're going to be, I've measured it all up, but they're going to be longer than the steel bush, and also when they're in there should be a gap in the middle so that the grease can come through. So unfortunately I haven't got a lathe, otherwise I would have made those anyway, but I'm going to have to trim these down. So I've just sat this in a 12mm drill bit. I've got it on the vise here. I've marked it, so I'm going to use a little saw just to saw this bit off, little junior saw, and hopefully that'll work well, and then I can get these damn things fitted. Right, so I've cut down 2 of them, and when the bush is in there now, and that's how it'll be in the swinging arm, there'll be a gap for the grease to get through. So there's different ways of cutting these down, ideally on a lathe, but we haven't got a lathe, otherwise I would have made these anyway, like I said. So I'm doing it like this. I've marked off roughly where I want to cut it, and it seemed to work all right. Just keep turning that round. There we go. Let's give it a deburr so that the pin goes in there. Oh, it's on the floor. Where's that gone? There we go. Oh. Right, so hopefully, there we go. So one more to do, and then I'll get them fitted. In fact, while we're on the video, I might as well just fit 2 of them. I'll go and get them done. So there's one of the arms. These 2 little ones here go in there, and all I'm going to do is just press them in the vise. He says. That's it. There we go. And 2 of these. Come on. Just start them off, make sure they're square before I squeeze them in. Need a little tapping stick. There we go. Same with that one. There we go. Will it need reaming? Might need a little reamer in there. Well, not a little one. I think it's 10mm, isn't it? $12mm. Of course it is. That's what size the drill was. So I might have to find a 12mm reamer and or an adjustable reamer. Take a little bit out. Although having said that, yeah, it's just a bit tight. Never that easy, is it? But it's not unusual to have to ream some these little bushes and things when you put them in. Okay, I'll get a bolt, see what that one's like. No, they're okay. So we're all right with that, but not so with this. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay, let's find a reamer. I've searched high and low for a reamer. I thought I had an adjustable one, but can't find it. So I used a drill bit, rightly or wrongly. Seems to have worked right though. This one, if anything, is a bit tight still, but you don't want it being too loose. But it does go through. So this is the second one I've done, and all I did was put it on the drill bit, and it's just enough to scoop out a little bit of nylon. So that's going to work for me, I think. Let's have a look. Again, it's a little bit tight. I had to do the other one a few times, on and off the drill bit, and eventually we got somewhere where, yeah, it's actually quite good on the drill bit. I don't really want to polish these down, so I think I'll I will probably use that as it is. And what I also did was put it in the vise just to check that it does move, because this one doesn't. If this is too thick and the steel bush isn't sticking through, it won't move. It looks like it is. I've been held up on those alley clamps. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's moving. It's not spinning on the nylon, so that should be good. Good to go. Get some grease on there and put it back together. Okay, that's all back together, and you can't really tell, but it's a lot stiffer. I've got to give it a test ride. But I did change these bolts for some new ones, because the ones that came out, which I assume are from Honda, I'm not too sure, but the shaft here is 7mm, whereas the hole in the bush is 8mm, and this is an 8mm thread. So I don't know. If you put the old calipers across there, that's an 8mm thread, but the shaft is 7mm. So that will give a bit of play, and yet that's factory as far as I know. So luckily I had some bolts. With the shank, which just works with a thick washer behind the head, and it's kind of better in a way because it goes all the way through. Excuse me. Right, so that's the bolt I've used, although I've sawn the end off. But that's a proper 8mm shank. So I'm not quite sure why these are in there. Don't seem right to me. If you're always chasing play in these things anyway, why would you put a smaller bolt through? But we're going to give it a test ride now, and hopefully that's sorted out the wibbly wobbly front wheel. Okay. Hi folks, only me. So last video we changed the bushers in the front suspension, and that was a big success. She steers like a good one, doesn't have the wibbly wobbly wheel. And so next job is to look into the engine and see why it's burning so much oil. It runs really well, does 30, 32, maybe 35 sometimes, but it does smoke a little bit. And on the run, 40-mile run, it was using quite a bit of oil. I had to pour in another, I can't remember how much, a little jar of oil which I poured in. And when I got home, it was off the dipstick. So yeah, I'm going to pop you in the stand and zoom it in a bit, and we'll take this relatively simple engine apart and see what we can find wrong with it. Okay. Okay then, so I've got a few tools out. Hopefully I've got all I need. The first thing I'm going to take out is the spark plug, and for that we're going to use its own spark plug spanner from under the seat. Original equipment. There we go, one of them. Just diddly little plugs on these Hondas. Got a good, seems to have a good colour on it. Considering it's burning oil. But there you go. Right, so that's the decompression lever. And when you push that, it opens up the exhaust valve. Now the next thing is, well, let's take the exhaust off if we can. There's a bit of non-standard stuff going on here. There's two nuts on here. It looks like the stud's going to come out. Hopefully I'm in the picture all right. Am I? Yeah, just about. I don't know, perhaps we should take the stud out. No, that's probably been in there for years. Yeah, it looks like the stud wants to come out. And this one, well, this one's a bolt. Are they bolts from standard? I wouldn't have thought so. A bit of WD on there. I love the smell of WD. Definitely a sort of stud with two nuts on it, which is now of course a bolt. So we'll look into that. I might have to get some studs for it. Oh, that's actually a stud. Okay, so it is a stud with a nut on it. Get that out. Now at the back we've got two 11mm nuts. Well, it's the spanner you need to undo. I don't know if I'm on camera or not. I think I am. They're a bit awkward to get to, but at least this front one. Come on. No. Still not loose enough. I can get a socket in there. And if there's room to get the wrench on. Yep. At least on the front one anyway. There we go. A little lock nut, no washer by the feel of it. I might be able to get on this one. Yep. There we are, a lovely little exhaust. Okay. We're getting there very quickly. So next one is to take the carb off. And I haven't got a proper Honda screwdriver apart from the one that's in the kit. But what I have done before, when I got the carb off, I just grabbed the side of the screw with my mollies. There we go, just to loosen them off. There we go. I should be able to get on that now. There we go, see? There we go, see? I could take those out as well, get it right out of the way, but we'll see how we get on. See if it would just stay where it is and not be in the way. Well, it should be right. So the next thing is undo the, I suppose it's a rocker cover. Hope that wheel's not in the way. Let's have a check. Okay, looking all right. So these engines on these PC50s, the later ones, even though it's 50 years old, have got push rods rather than overhead cam. And you know, this should come off because I had it off the other day. What am I forgetting? Oh, there's another bolt. Silly arse. There we go. I forgot about the other bolt. So that's what you got in there. And when you pull the decompression on, it just pushes on the rocker for the exhaust and opens up the exhaust. And you see there's some quite bad marks there, but it has done 8,000 miles, this bike. Still not quite sure why there's so many marks on there, but perhaps that's normal. So I'm thinking next thing to undo is get the push rods out of the way. So that would mean slackening off and removing the rockers. And I'm going to put, make sure I put everything, like that's the exhaust, I believe. Well, it is the exhaust because that's where the decompression valve is. So I'll put all those in one tray. I'm just going to mark that up now. spider writing. Exhaust and in. So take all this, remembering what we got here, of course. That was a lot that came off. Very exhaust one. You've got a nice little radiused sort of nut that allows the rocker to move around nicely. And we should be able to take this out. Get a little pair of pliers. And remove the push rod. I don't know whether to mark that or not, so it goes back in the same way. Probably doesn't really matter, but I will do anyway. I'll just put a black mark on the top. Not the best colour to use. Changed my mind. I just put a bit of tape on the top, but I don't think it really matters. So that's that one. Oh, come here, you bugger. These are lovely little engines. I had a great run on the other day on it. There was another PC as well with my mates, and that was going on nicely. As I was saying before, the later ones were push rods, and the earlier ones were what I considered to be a more modern idea, overhead cam. But they only did those in the late 60s, early 70s, and then they changed to push rod. I don't know if it was because a reliability problem, perhaps all the parts were so small, all the chains and everything, but all the later ones are push rods. You know where you are with a push rod. There we go. So the next thing is to undo the head bolts, which would be these here. Do them diagonally. Probably got too small a spanner here. Let's get a bigger one. I only end up slipping right in my hand, skinning my knuckles. There we go, it's easier. Now I don't suppose these have been off since the bike was built. There we are. What I generally do is just check their check, see if there's any different sizes. So those two, the bottom ones are that size. This one looks like it's a longer one. And it's got the little bracket on it for the decompression. And this one's possibly a long one as well. So it makes me think, oh I see. So there's two bolts down the bottom to take the barrel off. I ought to loosen them off now, so they're not under strain, because the other ones are out. That's it. That one. And that one. Okay. Okay, my lady. we shall now, oh look at this. Oh, it's blooming heavy, that is. So there we have it. There's a little bit of sort of white round here, but why would that be? Don't think it's too much of a problem. Probably end up lapping these valves in anyway. It looks pretty good. Lovely little engine. Nice homemade gasket from the other day. Right, so that's that. And now I suppose I can undo. Let's get that. See if we can get that. Put a ship on in there. Get that piston up. There we go. So I'll undo this. If I can get in there with a quarter drive, should be able to. Quarter drive, 10mm socket on an extension. The old mate Mark, who's got one of these, said, "You never know, Mickey, it might just be a broken ring." That'll be nice. But we just don't know. Let's have a look. Have I missed out another nut? Let's have a look. There's the old head gasket. It may just need a little tap, a little love tap. Get that muck out. So we've got 2 bolts there. Two bolts there. That should be it. I'm going to get a little lever. It won't need much, I'm sure. Little lever's the biggest one I've got. There we go. It started moving. Now come on. It must, well, it's obviously on dowels, so I'm just moving it off the dowels, I think. Almost need another lever on the other side. There's nowhere to lever it. Carry on wriggling it. No, she's a tight one. There we go. There we go. That's it. I can see a rusty dowel. Right, so I'm going to pull that out. There you have it. Well, the good news is the barrel's in good nick. So it's very glazed. And the piston rings, let's have a look. Oh, there you go. We have possibly, yeah, we have a broken ring. In fact, we have 2 broken rings. Look at that. There appears to be quite a lot of play on them, a bit of quite a lot of wear on them as well. Wow. And then this one's broken into 3, believe it or not. If I get this I want to get that bit out before it ends down falling down the engine. There's just a little bit. I should prepare a bit of cloth really. Kill myself if I drop that. There it is. So this one had a little bit broken off of it. They do seem very worn. And then we've got an oil ring. Oh, it wasn't broken, but it is now. Not that I was going to reuse it. Wow, that's good news really for Mickey, because I'm thinking we'll get everything measured up. I reckon with a deglaze and a new set of rings, we might be onto a winner. You're possibly right then, Mark. Good. God knows why he would have broken, unless of course it had, well, there's no evidence of it being rusty. I thought perhaps if it was sat for a long while and somebody had turned the engine, it might have broken the rings. Could have been that, because obviously I've been running it around now. I've done nearly 80 miles on it. But well, that's cool. Gasket set, bit of a clean up. Got to get the bores checked and see if I can get hold of this. Well, I don't know if it's standard or not. We'll soon find out. But a piston ring set. So I'm actually quite pleased about that. No big gouges in it or anything. Cool. Well, I've cleaned everything up, and I think I've got lucky with this little engine. I must admit, I haven't measured these gaps yet, but I thought I'd get a new set of rings and then measure the difference, the clearance of the actual the gap in the groove, the up and down gap, if you know what I mean, not the ring gap. Because obviously, if that's worn, it can act like a little pump, and it pumps oil up and it gets burnt. But it doesn't, well, you can't tell without measuring it. So I'll get the new rings and then measure what the rings are, measure this gap, and there's a certain tolerance. Can't remember what it is now. I've got to find out whether that's a standard piston or not. It's 42 mil in diameter, as is the bore. Well, the bore's a little bit more, a few thou more, obviously. But yes, I've cleaned all this up. I'm going to have to lap the valves in, especially the exhaust valve. But I can do that okay. It's cleaned up nicely. There's my inlet one. Give it a lap in. What else is there to report? Now the bore. The bore has got, you can just, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm trying to get the bit, here we are. There is a slight mark in it, a score if you like, and a few other small scores, but it isn't too bad. I think it's going to be all right without any major rework. That's probably where that bit of broken piston ring was floating around, but I'm going to hone it and see how it comes up with a bit of a hone. But nothing nasty in there. I've cleaned it all up, ready for a bit of paint once I've done all the work. Yeah, I'll just clean that up. So really, I've got to find out what size piston it is, get a piston ring set ordered. I mean, I could be able to measure the end gaps in the bore, the float on the gap on here. Check the, you know, I might need a new piston. Hopefully not. Nice Honda piston. Yeah, there we go. Okay, a little bit of homework on the internet, and it would seem that this is a standard piston. So I'm going to hone the bore now and get rid of the glazing and remove, well, I don't know if it will remove the complete, that little scratch, but I think we can hone it and that'll be a lot better. I've got this little honer here. I can work out how you do the tension on it. Let's have a look. Here we go. Not too much tension, but so I'll pop that in the drill. And put it in the bore. Come on, you spazzy, get it in there. Alright, and I've got some lubricant here. We need a bit more tension. Right. Just undo it a minute. Seems to be at the tensions, a bit more on the old tensioner. That's it, it feels like it's doing something now. Right. Not sure how fast you're supposed to spin this, but I was taking the glaze off. I'm going to do a little bit more just to get it a nice matte finish, so that the new rings have got something to bed against. So I shall do a little bit more of that. I'll carry on doing that off camera, and that'll be it. Looking at it, yeah, I've got that mark down there still, but for this I'm not going to go for a rebore. I'm going to go for new piston rings and see how it goes, because it's not a big, you can't even feel it. So that's what I'm going to do, rightly or wrongly. I'll get some standard piston rings, make up some gaskets, or buy a head gasket set or whatever, or at least these gaskets I can make. Might have to buy a head gasket, and that's it. Right, I'll carry on going. Right, what I've done here is I've put a bit of alley plate behind. I've turned this round in the vise, as you can see. Put a bit of alley plate so the this doesn't keep popping out, and I know I'm getting right to the top. And I've been doing it for a few minutes now, and it's a big improvement. So it's nicely deglazed, if you like. I'm just going to do it for a little bit more, and then I think we're there with that. Push it up just so it touches, and I know I'm right at the top, and it's not keeps falling out. So obviously you don't want to go too mad, else it'll be oversized. But I think that's it for me. Take that off. Yeah, it's lovely. I don't know if we can see that or not, but the glaze is all gone now. You probably can't see it in the camera. There's a slight little mark there, but that's lovely. That works for me. Right, get some piston rings ordered and get these valves lapped in. That'll be the next job. Right. Well, I've got to lap these in. They're very small. I've just got car suckers to go on here to do the lapping, but of course that wouldn't fit here. So I hummed and hard about what to do. Now, I've seen people on the internet grab the stem and use a drill. Makes it a lot easier. So that is actually what I'm going to do. I don't know how many people are going to think I'm doing the wrong thing there, but the idea is you just grab the end of this with your drill and just gently, obviously you're not going back and forth like that, you're just spinning it around. But I'm trying to think, there's some quite good mechanics on YouTube have done it like that without any problems. I think Musty One, does he do it like that? I think perhaps he does. I don't want to slag him off if that's wrong, but that's what I'm going to do and see what we get, see what result we get. I don't think it's going to need too much just to bring that back. I'll use a bit of coarse on it first and then finish off with some fine. Now that's as long as I can get in on here, because there isn't much room. So as long as I've got enough room to go back and forth, which I have there, I'll nip that up. Right. You don't have to be an animal with it. A bit of a... What I should have done perhaps is put a bit of oil on the shaft. I'll do that because this will have to come out again. I'll do that the next time. But really, I was going to see what sort of finish we get. Do a few of these. That's come off already. Right, let's get a bit of oil on the shaft. Pop that back in. Have another go. So I'll get the end of it. Put grinding paste back in. Come off again. I'm obviously not gripping the end of that valve very hard, which is why it keeps coming off, but dark in here, it was too light. Oh, look at that, it's come up a treat. My goodness. I had to drop the shutters down again because the sun was too bright. So I think that's pretty good. That's with the coarse stuff. I didn't think it would take much. I've got to have a look at the seat. That might need a bit more. A little bit more on the seat. So I'll do another one with the coarse. Got much. Oh yeah, I don't need much. Just a little bit of play on that. Right. A bit more. You can see that or not. Getting there. So I'm going to put some fine on that now, but I won't go boring you too much with it. That's the gist of it. Because looking on this little camera, I've already got 6 minutes. So yeah, I'll get some fine on there now, and do the same on the inlet. And then what I could do, when I get it back together, put a plug in there, turn it upside down and put some oil in there, give it a leak check. Or actually, I think you're supposed to use something like white spirit, because oil is quite viscous and it may not even get past the leak, but I think we're looking good. Right, I'm going to stop waffling. Right, so I've let my valves in, and now I'm going to attempt to put them in. Well, I'm going to put them in, but attempt to show you how I put these in. Well, I've never done it before, but I haven't got any special tools. One thing I did notice, I had a little drop off here. I knew I was very close with the chuck when I was lapping them in, but I've touched the surface there a little bit. It'll be all right with the gasket and that and some sealer on it, but it's just something to be aware if you're doing it, because there's hardly any room if you're doing it this way. So exhaust one, which is this one here, is going to go in first. So we're going to give a little bit of I've cleaned everything off. You must thoroughly clean it after you've used this grinding paste, because that will get anywhere and damage other parts of your engine. So it's had a good old clean with brake cleaner and what have you. Well, brake cleaner. So a bit of oil on the shaft, which incidentally I had checked. You put these through into the guides. There's hardly, well, there isn't. I can hardly feel any movement side to side. If it was really bad, then obviously we'd have to have some new guides fitted. But that's good. That's okay. So that's the exhaust in. And as I say, I haven't done this before. 2 strokes don't have valves. Right, push that on there. And I've got, keep the inlet one out of the way. I've got a spring to go on. And I've got a spring seat thingy bobby, and you'll notice what I did there was I put this bit of rag just to hold the valve in, and then I went and put it on the wrong one. There we are. So that's the exhaust. Now what I want to try and do, and it may or may not work, is hold this down with my spanner. It's a 10mm spanner. Try and hold it down, get these little collets in. Like I say, it may or may not work. So that's the first collet. It's kind of gone in. Okay. Try and hold that. I don't want it springing out. There's the other collet. I almost want to spin this round now, so I can get the get access to it to get the other collet in. So I'm just pushing that round now. You probably can't see. So that collet's next to the spanner, and then get this one in. Come on, you little swine. I've lost it. I've lost it. Where's it gone? There it is. I was trying to get that. I've got one collet in, as you can see. I've got to push it down more now and get this other collet in. I think they're called collets. It's a bit of a bugger of a job though. Push that down. Oh, look at that. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, indeed. A little tap. Soft mallet, just to let it seat. That should be fine. Okay. Just wanted to show me struggling with that. I shall get on with the other one now. Right, that's it, painted up and waiting for spares. I've bought a brand new piston with the piston rings on it from David Silver, pattern part, is that what they call it? And a gasket set. and they're going to be about a week to deliver them, so that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and the next video will be me putting the bike back together and going for another ride. Okay, bye for now.